A tension between good and evil, and one individual or team will rise above them all. These are the themes of this week's movie. Superheroes. Welcome to Screening Room. I'm Chip O'Brien.
I'm Allison Steele.
And I'm Kyle Tanis. Let's get into our first movie. So our first movie today on Screening Room is 2017's Wonder Woman, starring Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and Chris Pine as U.S. Army officer Steve Trevor. Being sculpted from clay by her mother Hippolyta and given the powers of a demigod by the Greek god Zeus, Diana, better known as Wonder Woman, spends her early centuries training with her Amazon kin before being thrusted into the world of men and war in order to fulfill her birthright as the one who will defeat Zeus's son Ares, the god of war, before he can destroy humanity in the war to end all wars. Wonder Woman is a film to dazzle its audience with its slow-motion captured stunts and beautiful cinematography. Let us take a look at the trailer and come back to discuss it.
I used to want to save the world. This beautiful place. But the closer you get, the more you see the great darkness within. I learned this the hard way, a long, long time ago.
What is your mission?
To stop the war.
What war?
The war to end all wars.
Weapons far deadlier than you can ever imagine.
The war can be ours.
Whoever you are in more danger than you think.
I cannot stand by while innocent lives are lost.
Be careful, Diana.
Who is this woman?
She's my secretary, sir. She's a very good secretary.
It is our sacred duty to defend the world.
And it's what I'm going to do.
Possibly fight in this.
Fight? We use our principles, although I am not opposed to engaging in a bit of fisticuffs should the occasion arise.
Well, that is quite the trailer for the movie. And just watching that, I just have to say that I really loved this movie. It was very action-packed, and I think overall the cinematography was my favorite because you had these slow-motion stunts. It was just it was very beautiful. I loved it, definitely would recommend it. Let's see, what'd you guys think?
I thought it was a really good movie too. It was refreshing to see a female superhero for once, in her own movie.
Yeah, I mean Wonder Woman's been a very popular superhero up there with Superman and Batman. I know Marvel and DC. I know a lot of the superheroes, but I don't know exactly who they fall for. But I really liked it.
I would say it was really good. I definitely liked it. I like the British kind of war aspects because it wasn't strictly a superhero movie. It was a little bit of a mix of kind of some different genres, but not strictly a superhero one. So just pulling in different genres to make the superhero movie what it was really good.
Yeah, they kind of mixed it. It was there was a blend of mythology because you had Zeus and Ares, and I read that Greek mythology and this stuff didn't used to be in the Wonder Woman universe until this movie. So it was kind of cool to see how they connected all this, and then they connected it to real world events like World War I at the time, which I was kind of I didn't really like that part at first because it's like I recently watched Captain America, and that was about, I think, World War I as well. So it's like we take these like big moments in history, and that's when these superheroes come out and that they shine.
Yeah, I thought it was like similar in the sense to Captain America because like the setting was both like in like a war and both of them had to fight during it.
Yeah.
In a sense.
I would say another really good thing is they set up the movie really well with Wonder Woman's like character, background, and they also set up the war like really well and just the different dynamics. So normally I get lost in many stories, but I wasn't lost in this one.
Yeah, it was definitely, it's kind of like standalone film. The introduction to like the superhero was a very refreshing start. Let's talk about the things that were good. I loved like the beach scene where like the Germans first find like the paradise that the Amazons are on, and it was kind of like a niche for me. Like, but the battle between them, like seeing the Amazons like take bows and arrows to these Germans that have guns, and they even have their own gunboat. You didn't really see that. Like the gunboat, I think something happened to it. But the battle was great. You got these slow motion stunts, and like to just show like the epicness. You can see that when like Diana, like all the fights were really good. So.
One of my favorite scenes was definitely right when they arrive, like in the London type area, and they're all getting acquainted, and they're like, "Oh, who's your friend?" And she's like, "I'm like the Amazon Prince," and then they cut like her off and just go, "Oh, this is like Prince or this is Diana." It was really comedic, really pretty funny.
Yeah, my favorite scene was probably like when we first see her in the outfit because it like builds up to that. We're going to take a break right now and cut to those perfect pets.
La Crescent Animal Rescue, a non-profit, no-kill, all-volunteer shelter dedicated to creating a safer, more enjoyable world for pets. We take in surrendered pets and strays from the city of La Crescent and provide them with the vetting and care they need. So before you go to the farm for that free pet, know that the vetting bills could cost you more than $400. That's a lot of money for a so-called free pet. At La Crescent Animal Rescue, we have wonderful cats and dogs that are spayed, neutered, and current on all their vaccinations. And with an easy application process and low adoption fees, you and your new pet will go home happy and healthy. Not looking to adopt but still want to help? You can foster a pet, volunteer with us, or donate. Visit LaCrescentAnimalRescue.com for more info on fostering pets, volunteer opportunities, and to view our donation wish list. Help create a safer, more enjoyable world for pets with La Crescent Animal Rescue.
Once again, the number for La Crescent Animal Rescue is 507-895-2066. Now, off the success of our first encounter with the Guardians, they are back in the second movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This movie takes audiences on yet another adventure with Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Drax, and the rest of the Guardians crew, as they are tasked with protecting the batteries from other invaders in the galaxy. The movie hosts a killer soundtrack with songs including Mr. Blue Sky, Surrender, and many others. Slated with an all-star amazing cast including Brad Pitt, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, and Kurt Russell. The cast definitely delivers as they take audiences on an adventure in the expanded universe of the galaxy. I personally enjoyed the movie for its unique angle it takes on the superhero movies. This movie kept us all entertained with humor, constant action, and a wholesome story. The movie is perfect for a great change of pace to the original superhero movies. And now, let's take a look at the trailer.
The fate of the universe lies on your shoulders.
Now, whatever you do, don't push this button. Because that will set off the bomb immediately, and we'll all be dead. Now, repeat back what I just said.
I am Groot.
No! No, that's the button that will kill everyone. Try again.
I am Groot.
Mm-hmm.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I'm Groot.
No! Showtime, a-holes! any tape out there? I want to put some tape over the death button.
Nobody has any tape.
Not a single person has tape.
You have an atomic bomb in your bag. If anybody's gonna have tape, it's you.
I have to do everything.
You are wasting a lot of time.
That's a really bad sign.
If I touch someone, I can feel their feelings. You feel love.
Yeah, I guess, I feel a general unselfish love for just about everybody.
No, sexual love.
No, I don't.
For her.
No. See, you just told everyone your deepest, darkest secret. Dude, come on. I think you're overreacting a little bit. You must be so embarrassed. Do me.
So overall, that preview just looks hilarious, and who wouldn't want to see that movie off the preview? I personally love the comedy of Baby Groot and Rocket, just the comedic duo right there, but what did you guys think?
I really liked the movie. It was very funny. Like, I want to give props to, like, whoever directed the movie, because it was very funny, like, and when there were times where it needed to be comedic, they went full out, whether it be the soundtrack was very comedic or, like, just the stunts were ridiculous, like Rocket setting up those traps in the forest, and you just see the soldiers bouncing back and forth up in the sky. So it was just very funny. And I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but so there were a little confusion towards the beginning, but then, like, the movie took on, like, its own thing with, like, Chris Pratt or Star-Lord and about his father, so yeah.
I really enjoyed it too. I think like a lot of sequels don't live up to like the first one. So since like the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie was so well done, I think that this one did a good job at like incorporating like a lot of humor, and it was really funny as well.
Definitely. I know I can quote so many things from this movie, like, don't touch the button, I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot. Just so many quotable things, just really characters that like you can connect with and you want to see, you want to follow their story, you want to see what happens. So overall, it was great. It got great ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb. It was in the upper 90s or like higher 80s kind of thing. So I would say with those ratings, it was really good.
I think it was interesting. Like there are a lot of things I like about it. Like, what was interesting about the movie is that it was very colorful. Like, every scene, like, between the lasers they were firing, or, like, the monsters, or, like, the worlds, it was all very pretty. I love Mantis. I don't know, just something about those big eyes, and she was very, like, trusting. And so I feel like she's a great, like, addition to the movie. She was very good. That scene, though, where, what was his name?
Yondu?
Yondu and his rocket, I thought that was a bit excessive, because one guy taking out, I think, there had to be at least 100 soldiers, and he just doing it with his mind. But I thought it was very excessive, but it was very funny.
Yeah, I like seeing like all the relationships like between the Guardians develop more, because in this one they seem like more like a family. I thought that was a nice touch as well.
For sure, they're definitely a family, and a lot of those superhero movies have the family aspect. So we're going to move on to some trailers for our other shows, but we'll be back very soon.
The University of Wisconsin-La Crosse brings you a weekly student newscast. Important news, movie critiques, weather forecasts, sports highlights, and local interviews. UWL's own WMCM, run by the students, for the students. Every Thursday at 4:30 on Campus Channel 200 and Charter Channel 989.
Are you a movie fanatic? Tune in on WMCM TV's Screening Room, Tuesdays at 2:45 or 4:30. You can watch on Channel 200 and Charter 989. See you on Tuesdays for Screening Room.
Welcome back to the Screening Room. For our last movie, we're going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok. Everything Thor has come to know in his world is crashing down. His brother Loki, the god of mischief, has taken over Asgard, and his long-lost sister Hela has come back from the dead to claim the throne. Meanwhile, Thor is imprisoned on the other side of the universe and forced to join the contest of champions. To escape captivity on the chaotic Sakaar, Thor must team up with Valkyrie and Hulk. Thor finds himself in a race against time to return to Asgard to stop Ragnarok, the destruction of his world and Asgardian civilization at the hands of the ruthless Hela, the goddess of death. Will Thor be able to stop her in time? Let's check out the trailer.
Says on the show. We're done.
Now I know what you're thinking. How did this happen? Well, it's a long story.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Oh, come on.
What a trailer. This Thor movie has to be my favorite Thor movie out of all three of them. Thought it was really well done, it was really funny, and it brought like a new side of the Thor movies because of how colorful and bright it was. What did you guys think?
I thought it was a very funny movie. Like, it was obviously trying to be comedic. I definitely liked how they made Hela, like, definitely a bad guy. And, like, they didn't make her underpowered. Like, you actually see her on Asgard taking out the entire army single-handedly. That was very epic. It just shows, like, how much more powerful. And then, obviously, her destroying Mjolnir, if I'm saying that correctly, Thor's hammer, like, right at the beginning, just demonstrated her power. I mean, there are a lot of good things, but honestly, I didn't like it too much.
Why is that?
Well, there are a couple things, but what do you think, Chip?
I would overall say it was my least favorite out of the three. I feel like you tried so hard to rip off Guardians. Like, Guardians had a great formula going, and Thor's just like, yo, throw in Hulk, throw in whoever, and we're just gonna come and have a movie, and it wasn't that entertaining. Like, you had a bad guy, and that was kind of cool, kind of interesting, but the dynamic really didn't work. It was just a rip-off movie to expand the world of Thor. I'm sorry, but did not like it.
I thought it was good because I think this one came out before Infinity War, so I thought it was like a nice little break before like the seriousness that Infinity War was.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen the second Thor movie, but I saw the first one, and the two are definitely different. This one, it did have me laughing at times, but one of my biggest things that I hated about it was that it was slapstick comedy. And, like, while some of the jokes really landed, there was a joke at some point, like the prison scene when Thor gets thrown in prison. Like, every 5 seconds, they were making a joke with what they said, and it was, at one point, I just threw my pencil across the room. I'm like, I cannot take this anymore. I didn't really like the horns that they gave Hela. It's like, they made her too much of, like, a bad guy. It's like, oh, here, I'm just going to have, like, this giant crown of horns and stuff like that. I mean, there are a couple other things. It wasn't a bad movie. I definitely liked how, like, they connected it at the end with, like, ties to Infinity War, and Infinity War starts with like where Thor left off. But I like the first one more than the third one, and like the third one, I didn't realize at the beginning that Clancy Brown played the voice of Surtar, and at first I was like, I feel like they give a little CGI voice to this demon character, but it was really good on that point.
Yeah, I have to like agree that Hela's like headdress was really strange. How like it would turn from like hair to like all the horns. I didn't really understand that part.
Yeah, I would definitely say there were some cool elements that they did take into Infinity War, more or less, but if this was literally a movie just to set up another, like, we're seeing that so many times in cinematography. I know The Fantastic Beasts, the newest movie, really wasn't my favorite yet because it was just setting up the next one by dropping a giant thing at the end. Like, that's what your movie's based off of. Is it really a high-quality movie?
I really like Jeff Goldblum, like playing like the leader for Sakaar. Like that would Jeff Goldblum's always a win. But and like the character he played, it felt like himself. It might not be, but like, you know, he was doing his own thing. But like Thor and Loki and all of them, Valkyrie and Hulk being stuck on Sakaar for literally, I think like they were on Sakaar for like an hour and 15 minutes of the movie. I'm just like, I understand like they're like the hero is trapped someplace and they can't go home to save it, but I just did not like Sakaar. It just felt like a detour.
I know a lot of people even complained with Guardians of the Galaxy being stuck on the planet where his father lived, but I'm sorry to say I agree with you on that. Like, Sakaar was boring. It was like, move on the story. Like, if it isn't an interesting place to stay, like, why be there anyway?
And we don't move on because it's like, oh, we take things too early. God of Thunder, you're bringing electricity from your tips. What was that, a little party trick, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I would definitely, based on that, there are so many movies in the Marvel and DC cinematic universes. I know we'll have Captain Marvel coming out this Thursday, actually. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Another female superhero in the world. I know, liked Wonder Woman, thought Wonder Woman was a really good movie. So Captain Marvel might bring some interesting perspectives and continue the Infinity War.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, I haven't delved too much in because I'm just, like, over the winter, I just started seeing, like, these Marvel movies and other things. Like, I watched Captain America, I watched the first two Iron Man movies because I know the third one takes place after Avengers. But I wanted to, like, build that base because I want to, like, watch, like, you have the original stories now, so it's like watch those ones first. Then they get incorporated into the Avengers universe, even though it came out before it for some of the characters. And then like seeing the rise to Infinity War, I probably won't see Endgame when it comes out, but I didn't see Infinity War either. Probably like one of the few people in the world who has not seen it, which also you can like barely avoid spoilers from that movie, but you know, it is what it is. But like it'll be interesting. I think I heard like Captain Marvel has a key role to play for the final Infinity War movie.
Yeah, I think like at the end credits of the first Infinity War, Nick Fury like was sending a message to Captain Marvel, so I think that like she'll have to come in and like save them all in the second one, in the second half.
Yeah, and we saw like I just watched the Endgame trailer today, and like you see Scott Lang, you know, playing Ant-Man. Like it shows he's gonna play a part in the movie. You know, you still got these superheroes coming into the Infinity War movie, even though they weren't in the first one.
But with Infinity War Endgame, where they left Infinity War, it's just who's going to be left? You got all these great characters. You built up such a great like fan base for all these movies, and sorry to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but boom, everything kind of goes with one crush of a hand.
Yeah, they lost. Like, and like some people say, oh, is Thanos gonna win? Is he gonna take over the universe? And it's like, you know, you had the part where like Thor faces Thanos, but Thanos completed his mission in the end, and half of life in the universe went away.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how like the second one goes off of what happened in the first Infinity War, especially because almost like half the characters are gone now.
Yeah. I would definitely say other movies to bring up. I know Black Panther won a lot of awards at the Oscars, and Black Panther definitely made strides in the right direction. Like, love the movie, strong villains, just strong title, and I love Wakanda. Like, Wakanda was great, and I was like, if I can move someplace with warmer weather, bring me to Wakanda. Like, it was really solid. And then another one that just does not look like it should even belong in the category is Shazam. Like,
that one's coming out
be a movie? I don't know.
I haven't seen the trailers. I haven't seen anything for that. I've only like seen like, oh, here's on YouTube because I think it got trending at one point. It might still be, but like I just look at the screenshot or the thumbnail for like the trailer. I'm just like, this is a joke. I can tell it's a joke. It's making fun. It's like, okay, anybody can become a superhero. It's that satire sort of thing. I can tell. I haven't watched it. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and it looks funny, but I'm still just kind of confused as to like what Shazam's powers are. Cause like it looks like he just like comes out of like nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like, okay, we're gonna try something new.
Yeah. So another movie that we already talked about, Captain Marvel, and that one's new in theaters this Thursday. Some other ones are How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, The Medea Family Funeral, The Lego Movie 2, the second part, and Isn't It Romantic?
Yeah, well, that's a lot of movies coming out on theaters, and that's going to be very interesting.
Definitely.
And some things that there's already movies that we've seen, and it's been a few months later, and now these movies are now coming out on DVD. So some new movies that are coming out are Creed 2, Instant Family, Free Solo, and Ben is Black. Or no, Ben is Back. My bad. I for some reason put an L there. But if you also go downtown, there's also The Ribs, so they got a couple movies playing down there too, like Glass. I have yet to see that one. I haven't seen any of those movies, but I hear it's very good. A Star is Born, They Shall Not Grow Old, and The Mule.
Definitely. I know Star is Born is one of my personal favorites, and they had that on campus a few weeks ago. But they do have some other movies on campus that are definitely worth a watch. So on campus, we're going to have Welcome to Marwin, Glass, and The Upside. So just like you said, if you wanted to see Glass, you can see that next week on campus, and all those look like pretty solid choices.
Yeah, I'm a stickler. I gotta watch like the original movies. Like I learned that like for Glass, it was all a setup for like years. It's like it was not superhero was not supposed to be a part of it, but then like the plot unveiled, and like now Glass kind of brings it together. I would probably watch Split first, and then there's other things. But yeah, what about you guys?
I'm excited to see How to Train Your Dragon, the third one. That one looks exciting, like the first two.
I want to see Lego Movie. That looks pretty good. I dragged my roommates to Medea thinking it was going to be funny, and her send-off one, and I almost fell asleep and walked out the theater. Like, it was atrocious.
It's going to be Disney's year, in my opinion. You got all these live action. You got Aladdin, which is very hyped right now because, controversy. Like, people, you're not going to make everybody happy. But I'm very excited for The Lion King. Lion King is my favorite movie that Disney, Pixar, whatever you want to say, I know it's probably Disney, that they've ever made. So I'm really excited for that one. But thank you for joining us today on Screening Room. Join us next Thursday for WMCM's Week in Review. I'm Kyle Tanis.
I'm Allison Steele.
And I'm Chip O'Brien. Thanks for watching.